want to talk about the information that comes up when you do a search as it pertains to targeted individuals and their technology being affected. This goes in together with their collaborative scheme of making the target appear to be someone that's just misguided, misinformed, conspiracy theorist, a whack job, you name it. Because on a technicality, now mind you, I told you all that many years ago I dated someone that's counterintelligence agent. Okay. Yep, I did. And yep, it was real. Okay, because I know somebody is gonna always out there say people claim to be all kind of stuff. I get it. You know, I went through something similar when I was a teenager when I dated this guy that was a professional boxer. And, you know, the common thing is, you know, people say all kinds of shit to you to seem cool. But in that case, it was true. He was a professional boxer and he ended up becoming a famous boxer. Likewise, I did date somebody that was a counterintelligence agent. Yep. Okay. He knows about this. We spoke about a month or so ago. And he knows about fusion centers. And he basically regurgitated the very same thing that you're looking at here. So he mentioned to me that, you know, in terms of a U.S. citizen, that you can't just be doing shit. He didn't say it in those terms, but he was like, we can't, you know, because I was asking him, I was like, is there a way, you know, to find out if I have been put on some kind of list illegally? Because I have not had any type of notifications or due process of nothing. So I was like, is there a way that I could, you know, as a citizen, that I could personally find out for myself? Okay, I found some information on that, by the way, other ways in which you can go about finding that out for yourself, but that's not what this video is. So he said, I can't, like, because he has access, right? So he was like, there would be all these dings, alerts, and so forth if he were to try to do something that had not been approved. There's going to be all sorts of alerts, dings, bells, and whistles that if he were to try to like plug in my information without due cause, there's no assignment to it. What are you doing? Why are you looking into some rando schmando civilian shit? Okay. Now, I said all that to say, then it makes the claim that these things are done seem like it's impossible to do. But let's just get real practical. Those of you all who have been following and subscribing to me long enough, then you know that I can swing in both worlds. I love practicality too. I like to simplify things and get past bullshit too. Smoke and mirrors. So let's just be real. Corruption exists. Does it not? And does it exist in everything? Or does it not? We know what the technical answer is. That's just like going to somebody, if you like, even if you were to go on a smaller scale, that's like going to somebody on some small time business, an individual or an individual entity, and saying, hey, did you give my information to a relative of mine? Did you talk to a relative of mine without my consent, providing information about ... Yeah, they're not going to say yes. What they're going to do to you is they're going to regurgitate the rules and regulations pertaining to that. They're going to give you what the policies and the rule book says. They're going to say, no, that is not something that is allowed to be done. The rules, as if you don't know, but that I'm simply saying that that's the answer that you're going to get. Does it mean it's a true answer? No. Does it mean that there wasn't a way that they can do it and keep it hidden? No. So this is no different. Just because we find information and it says, yeah, no, they don't do that. Yeah, I know what they're not supposed to be doing. I know what's against the rules. But if they listen, there's always a way. If you're a criminal and if you are a high level criminal, then there's always a way, isn't it? Yes, by the way, they're up to it. They're circulating out who's on assignment for this morning. Okay. But now, back to what I'm saying. That's what the guy I dated said. Okay. You're supposed to have this. It's illegal. Can they not hide documents? I mean, if you think about Watergate in the history of the U.S., like we have so many examples of corruption that, they moved evidence or they hid it under something else because they are aware that they're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. But it also helps to foster what they're trying to manufacture about the target. They're crazy. They're a whack job. They're paranoid. They're conspiracy theorists. Yeah, we can't do that. We don't do that. Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever you say. You are looking at 113 attempts to contact Lone Star. Back to back. Today. Earlier, that was 81. Wait. Yeah, this is just showing all of the times, back to back. So they try to talk about glitches. This is why I want to bring it up, because I found this to be fun and fascinating, because I love how corrupt individuals lean into things that are facts, plausible things, in order to perpetuate their illusion. I love that. Now look. Hold on, there's something else I want to share if I can find it. Okay, I don't think I can find it. It was something that I found that was basically saying, it was kind of going along with what I was saying right here, so just bear with me. To those of you who come on anyway, because to be clear, I'm addressing benevolent people. That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to those folks. I'm sharing for folks that are innocent, folks who may not know about this stuff, folks who are confused about it, folks who are not involved with the corruption. That's who I am talking to. That is who I am addressing. Okay. Oh, because they were given a breakdown about what it might actually be in terms of what's happening with the target's technology. Oh, a Wi-Fi issue. They gave the same. I actually laughed because I'm like, I said almost every fucking bullet point that they listed as what the possible issues are going on, cellular, they just all plausible things that's true, that are true, plausible situations. This is how they're able to hide. This is how and why they're able to do what they do. Because it's technology. What do you mean? No one's interfering. Maybe their phone is going bad. Maybe it's a bad SIM card. Maybe the device is starting to malfunction. Even though it's one of the latest iPhones you can get on the market. Maybe it's the location. I go certain places, and when I go certain places, like all my calls just drop every time I go to certain places. Here's the thing about that. There's only so many. That's why I said when you pattern it, because when that is the case, you're not gonna fucking get no goddamn 113 goddamn calls that's doing the same thing. If you're doing all of the troubleshooting and you have some kind of tech savviness and your device is otherwise healthy and all of those other things, your connectivity typically works, you're in a centralized area that you normally operate in, all things being equal, you're not going to get 113 calls and attempts when it's something that's plausible to do with technical issues. And I said it all the long route because it's a variable. These are variables that matter. If you're in an area where it typically works normally, your device is in an otherwise healthy condition, your technology is pretty secure, or your internet or service is, if all those variables are secure, there's no weather conditions, like bring in all of those variables, okay, that they like to list as plausible. It's not going to be plausible 113 goddamn times, though. If the person does all the things, reboots your device, the device is healthy, all the things. See, remember, I worked for Apple through a third-party agency many years ago, and I was one of the people that they would call. I was one of the people that they would call to troubleshoot technical difficulties, whether it was their calls were dropping, they got locked out of their iCloud, they forgot their password, their devices glitching. I was one of the reps that they would call to get help with that. We'd run a diagnostic on it, because you can do one over the phone, and if depending on what the thing was, then we would have to place an appointment for them to take it to one of the, the physical places, or to send it to one of the physical places. But the point that I'm making, that this 113, no. So once again, they are attempting to interfere with me getting resources and assistance that matters. They don't care about me running in circles on bullshit that don't matter. They're concerned with me connecting with certain individuals or getting a hold of certain individuals or certain types of resources. They don't care if I meet some rando somebody, at least seemingly rando, some rando somebody. They don't care about that. That's a distraction. They can step in on that and bring them. Ah, yeah. Nothing shocks me anymore. Remember, they are going to always be exploiting the target situation. At least trying to. Oh, okay, they don't want to walk. Okay, let's see if we can infiltrate. Even if the people are legit, they'll still try, and they're going to exploit whatever frequency offness. Well, they're going to use it all. I guarantee. They're still trying to, me and my son, this is a cult. They're still trying to do humiliation rituals. They're still attacking my physicality, health, and well-being. They're still attacking even my giftings. They're attempting, this is pathetic, but they are. But see, they've been doing this since before my son even arrived here. They have been doing this kind of trickster, tricky, swappy, switchy, play with the gifts to try to humiliate, to make me think that I'm past it though. I'm not going to tarry long here. I'm just coming on here because I'm going to be taking other measures. I'm going to take this thing as far as I have to. I'm going to do that. And as long as there's this constant interference, I don't care if they want to try to pretend like I don't care. As long as this is happening, I will be doing some other stuff. I will be amplifying that. Because attempting to interfere with resources and assistance is also an attempt to entrap. You say this person don't want to do or doing this and that, but you're also actively trying to make sure that they cannot. You are a participant in trying to delay, hinder, block so that you can entrap. Yeah, they're up there thumping and bumping. These people are on a program. I almost want to say robots or something. I don't know. Still doing hand signal gestures. Still coming out on cue as soon as I move. I know about that. All that. And all those things look plausible. I'm going to the restroom. I'm going to the trash can. I'm going to the mailbox. I'm going to the utility room. I'm doing this. I'm cleaning up. By the way, one of the top people in the industry that I listen to, all of a sudden their YouTube, it's a good thing that that's on YouTube. I'm working on that. I know what that's about too. But the rest of the population doesn't. Another video. I have correction for that too. Because that's what that shit is. It's still a mind. It's the mind. That's what that's about. One of the top people in the industry that I listen to, all of a sudden in the wee hour of the morning, their whole YouTube. Now I don't know how legit this is, if they made him take it down, or if, because like, that just didn't make sense out of nowhere. Did they make him take it down, or is it, what is that? Because it was growing. It was a very successful platform and very useful and very helpful. So why is it all of a sudden it said the content creator, it said they took it down, but was they made to take it down? He's not the only one though. Now, good thing is he has other ways you can get to him. So I kind of smiled because I'm like, I was like, yeah, they a little concerned. People get help and shit, you know, because yeah, you know somebody must be making impact when something like that happens. Because he's, he just shares frequencies and, his experience, that's what he does. That's it. So what reason? He's not on here violating people. He's not over here talking trash. You got people with trash ass. I'm just going to say it, nigga. You got people with trash, cold trash ass shit. They ain't being taken down. They stealing people's shit. They violating. They're abusive. You have that here, and ain't nobody taking their shit down. They still got they trillion viewers, followers, and subscribers, and ain't no authority stepping in and making them take their shit down. That's why I smiled. I was like, yeah, he helping folks. And in spite of the program fake we philanthropist bullshit, they don't want nobody helped for real. They want you controlled and programmed. I don't want nobody helped. Cause his shit ain't bothering nobody. He ain't pushing it on nobody. He's not, I mean, good gracious. And when I look at that, I'm like, out of all the things that should be violated and taken down, it's like, take down some of this trash, some of this useless trash. Take that shit down. Some shit don't matter, bitch. Take that down. Some shit that's stupid. That's like, instead of consuming shit, just do ain't shit. But a trillion followers and they're like, come on now. I think he was growing too fast, because when I first started watching him, he had, I forget, like I think he just started accelerating. And that's because he's, folks like myself was starting to be drawn. And, we like, shit, frequencies. And, there's other frequencies, like we learned a lot through him. And these people don't want us listening to these frequencies. They want us listening to passive shit trash. But he has, I found another way to say that. There's another way where it's none related to these social media platforms. And I don't know if they're going to get to him that way, because I'm like, good gravy. What are they, Anywho, let me focus, because I got to clear my energy some more and then continue on with my phone calls, because I have to handle the business, okay? I have to take care of things for my son. They're trying to make it difficult for me to do that, and then so that they can entrap me up on some bogus bullshit, and I'm going to make this a problem. I am. got their people constantly making noise. None of that has ever changed. It's been reported a trillion times. Nobody does nothing. So they made it perfectly clear that they do not care about the welfare of my son. And it's as simple as that. My son and I are surrounded by a cult that are trying to barricade and entrap everything that we do, everywhere that we go. They have their cult members following us around. They're on the property, but they follow us wherever we go, whatever we do. It is that widespread. They are interfering with my phone calls. They are interfering with me being able to utilize the resources that I have left because they are trying to entrap. People upstairs are casting spells. People on this property are casting spells in real time. Occult ritual abuse in real time on me and my son. Their people use these hand signals and buzz phrases and gestures likewise, and they sprinkle things around the property and inanimate objects. They are monitoring my movement through tenants' residents on top of Fusion Center. So through location, they have their own surveillance cameras. So they have people, they don't have jobs. Their jobs is this. This is how they're getting their rent paid. This is how they're getting the groceries. So the moment I or my son walks through that building, this building's entrance, there are people that are, like I said, that's their waking job. To look out their peepholes, to look out their balconies and patios, or to look through their surveillance systems that they have set up right on the side of the parking lot in Building 6. So that they can cue whichever one of the cult members that's on the properties to go and walk their dog, take out their trash, cross my path in some way, certainly come out to try to do one of their cult shebang bang things they do. So when I reach out to people, this is why it's infuriating for me. As if I'm not doing all the things that I need to do. Because you talk to people and they give you catchphrases. They're attempting to hinder that.